A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will be marked by psychology tricks. A good woman in your life feels like a steady hand on your shoulder. She helps you walk closer to God, not drift away from Him. But just as God can send a woman as a blessing, Satan can use a woman as a distraction, a trap, even a slow destruction of your peace, purpose, and faith. To protect yourself, you must learn to discern. Scripture doesn't just describe a virtuous woman, it also warns us about the manipulative, deceitful, and destructive kind of woman, the one who plays on your weaknesses, clouds your judgment, and pulls you off the path God set for you. In the next part, we'll look at 4 clear signs of a woman whose influence is dangerous, so you can recognize her early and guard your heart and your future. Love should lift you closer to who God made you to be, not pull you further away from Him. Number 1. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will be marked by external beauty paired with an inner ugliness. Be very careful, gentlemen, because the most dangerous woman in your life will never arrive wearing a warning label. She will arrive stunning. She will arrive tempting. She may even feel like destiny, when in reality, she might just be the perfect trap. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will always be wrapped in external beauty, but paired with an inner ugliness so deep it corrodes every ounce of masculine energy you've built. Proverbs 7:8-10 paints the picture perfectly. He was crossing the street near the house of an immoral woman, strolling down the path by her house. The woman approached him seductively dressed and sly of heart. She was the brash, rebellious type, never content to stay at home. That is not poetry. That is a warning. Verses 25-26 continue. Don't let your heart stray away toward her. Don't wander down her wayward path, for she has been the ruin of many. Many men have been her victims. That is history. That is reality. That is your caution sign flashing in bright red. This kind of woman doesn't merely tempt you into lust. She tempts you into destroying your future with your own hands. She doesn't steal your power. She convinces you to throw it away. Don't fall for it. Be alert. Being a high-value man doesn't just mean being successful. It means protecting your heart, guarding your mission, and refusing to let your vision die in the hands of someone who smiles at you while silently cheering for your downfall. You must recognize the pattern. The moment lust takes over, logic packs its bags and disappears. That's when men lose everything. When a man allows his eyes and flesh to choose his partner, it's like he opens the castle gates himself, bows to the enemy, and hands over the keys to his kingdom. And trust me, the enemy always says thank you before burning everything you built. That's why Satan doesn't use ugly weapons, he uses beautiful ones. So don't just learn how to attract women, learn how to attract the right woman, because the wrong one doesn't just break your heart, she breaks your spirit. She drains your masculine energy until you don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. A weak man chases pleasure. A strong man guards his purpose. A high-value man knows when to walk away, especially when everything inside him wants to stay. That is power. That is leadership. That is wisdom. Proverbs 31 verse 30 makes it crystal clear. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be greatly praised. Don't chase charm, charm fades. Don't worship beauty, beauty expires. Chase depth. Respect virtue. Honor character. A good woman doesn't just attract women, she attracts peace. She amplifies your masculine energy instead of draining it. She doesn't fight your mission, she fuels it. And that is rare. You must be wise enough to know that being drawn to her beauty is natural, but being blinded by it is fatal. You must distinguish between a woman who inspires your greatness and one who quietly celebrates your downfall. Satan doesn't have to torment you if he can distract you. Your downfall doesn't start with disaster. It starts with distraction. It starts with comfort. It starts with the effortless seduction of just this once. That is how great men fall. Not by weakness, but by compromise. Don't look for the perfect body. Look for a steady soul. Don't settle for excitement. Seek alignment. Be the kind of high-value man who values his peace more than temporary pleasure. If you don't control your desire will control you. And the moment it does, your masculine energy becomes negotiable, your future becomes blurry, and your standards become optional. Don't let that happen. Don't wander down her path. Don't rely on your strength alone, rely on wisdom. You must look deeper. Her beauty may be breathtaking, but does her presence bring clarity or confusion? Do you feel stronger or smaller when she's around? Can you breathe, or are you constantly walking on eggshells? That is the true test. Not how she looks, but how she affects your spirit. Remember, there's a difference between a woman you attract women with and a woman worth building a life with. Any woman can make your pulse race, but only a rare one can make your purpose stronger. So be bold, be discerning, be unshakable. Realize that temptation always arrives gift wrapped in desire. Don't fall for the wrapping. See what's inside. You are not called to be weak. You are not called to be lost. You are called to be a protector of your purpose, a guardian of your destiny. Don't hand it over cheaply. Be the high value man who knows his worth and guards his heart. Let your masculine energy lead with strength, not hunger. The right woman will not cost you your mission, she will multiply it. And that is the woman worth waiting for. Number 2. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will be marked by opposing your purpose. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will never attack you with a sword. She'll quietly oppose your purpose. That's her sharpest weapon. 1 Kings 21 verse 25 says it plainly. There was none who sold himself to do what was evil in the sight of the Lord, like Ahab, whom Jezebel his wife incited. That is not just a historical note, it is a masterclass in female psychology and psychology tricks. Men fall not when they're weak, but when they wander away from their purpose. A purposeless man is not living, he's just moving. He becomes a dead man walking, breathing, but not really alive. And that is exactly where the enemy wants him. Be very clear about this. God created men to rest, to love, to enjoy family, to be home. But he also built us for work, for direction, for mission. Don't run from that truth. Don't apologize for it. A woman sent by Satan will. She will resent your work. She will guilt trip your effort. She will see your mission as competition. She wants comfort while your soul needs purpose. That is where the battle begins. These are not just psychology tricks. They are spiritual strategies designed to make a man slowly forget who he is. When a man has no direction, temptation replaces mission. When a man stops pursuing purpose, he starts chasing pleasure. That is when the devil smiles. Because desperation is the perfect door for manipulation. To kill a man's soul, Satan doesn't need to destroy him. He just needs to distract him. That's why the enemy doesn't always show up as fear. Sometimes he shows up as affection, as warmth, as romance, as I miss you. Why do you work so much? And if you don't understand female psychology, you might mistake manipulation for how to fall in love. Gentlemen, don't let your guard down. There is a difference between a woman who supports your mission and a woman who suffocates it. You must know the difference. You must love wisely. You must test loyalty, not emotions. Don't just ask her how to fall in love. Ask her what she's willing to build, fight for, sacrifice for. Or better yet, watch her actions. That is the real test. Jezebel was not dangerous because of her beauty. She was dangerous because of her rebellion. Her spirit is still alive today, whispering into modern relationships, pulling men away from their mission, pushing them toward emotional chaos, financial ruin, spiritual exhaustion. King Ahab lost his purpose the moment he surrendered it to his wife's influence. That is the warning. That is the message. Don't be Ahab. Jezebel didn't steal his crown. She redirected his heart. That's one of the oldest psychology tricks in the book. Destroy the leader by seducing the heart before challenging the power. That is female psychology when turned toxic, not nurturing, but draining. Not supportive, but suffocating. Some men today live under the same silent curse. They meet a woman who looks exciting, emotional, passionate, and at first, it feels like how to fall in love. But slowly, reality sets in. Suddenly, nothing is peaceful. Everything is dramatic. Every week there is a new crisis. Every conversation turns into an argument. Her life is always in flames, and yours burns with it. Your finances suffer. Your focus dies. Your energy disappears. That is not love. That is strategic exhaustion. When emotional chaos becomes normal, your spiritual vision fades away, and she doesn't even have to ask you to give up your purpose. You do it willingly. You hand it over yourself. A woman was meant to be a man's partner on purpose, not his competitor in attention. She was meant to push him toward God, not pull him away from him. That is the standard. That is how you measure love. A real woman does not resent your calling, she helps carry it. She doesn't get jealous of your vision, she joins it. She doesn't distract you from God, she walks with you toward Him. But a Jezebel type spirit is different. She wants you submissive, not strong. She wants your time, but not your destiny. She wants possession, not partnership. And if you don't understand female psychology, you might chase her thinking you're learning how to fall in love, when in fact, you're learning how to lose yourself. You must protect your mission more than your emotions. You must guard your heart, but guard your purpose even more. Because a woman sent by Satan will never say, "Let me ruin your life." She'll say, "Why don't you stay home today? Why do you care about those goals so much? Why don't you relax a little?" And just like that, purpose begins to fade. First slowly, then suddenly. Don't let that happen. Be vigilant. Be bold. Be mission-driven. Because when your purpose is alive, your spirit is strong, and when your spirit is strong, even the sharpest psychology tricks and the most deceptive female psychology cannot break you. If this spoke to you, don't just scroll past it. Like the video, drop a comment, and share it with another man who needs to wake up to his purpose. Don't forget to follow for more truth and wisdom, because purpose is power and power must be protected. Comment to remember, my purpose is my protection. Write it in the comments to declare it. Write it to remember it. Write it to stand against manipulation and spiritual distraction. Men, your mission is not negotiable. A woman was designed to walk beside your purpose, not stand between you and it. Don't settle for emotional chaos. Don't lose your fire. Be vigilant. Be purposeful. Be aligned with God. That is how a man stays strong. That is how a man stays free. If this hit home, like, comment, and share it now. And type it below to lock it in. My purpose is my protection. Number 3. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will be marked by control. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will always carry one dangerous mark: control. Not love, not respect, not partnership. Control. And when you feel that urge to obey her before you obey your own conscience, that's your warning sign. That's your wake-up call. That is the moment you must draw the line and take back the authority over your life. Ephesians 5 verses 24 to 25 reminds us clearly, now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit in everything to their husbands. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Nowhere does it say dominate her or enslave her. Nowhere does it give a woman the right to bend a man's will through manipulation. God never asked a man to be weak. He asked him to be a leader, a protector, a servant with strength, not a passive follower. Submission in marriage was never designed to be forced, nor demanded. It must be willingly and freely given. That is the natural order written into the fabric of life. And what God establishes, Satan always tries to corrupt. Satan's first psychological trick was getting Adam to follow Eve instead of leading her, because when masculine leadership falls, chaos rises. All hell broke loose, and it still does today when men forget who they are meant to be. If you ever feel a woman is trying to control your thoughts, your schedule, your decisions, your faith, run. A godly woman seeks a strong man with vision, not a weak man she can program like a machine. A controlling woman thrives on male hesitation. The moment you become unsure of yourself, she fills the gap with command. The devil does not need horns and fire. He only needs your doubt. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, wrote Edmund Burke. Old Stoic wisdom teaches the same principle: control your mind, or someone else will. You need iron mind. You need Stoicism win. You need to command your life with purpose, because no woman should become the dictator of your destiny. In modern life, control often hides behind soft words: "I'm just helping you, I know what's best for you," or "I don't think you should do that." That gentle tone can disguise a silent takeover. Beware of phrases like, "Why are you doing that?" or "Should you be spending your time like this?" One phrase at a time, your life becomes shaped by someone else's opinion. Don't let it happen. Don't hand over the steering wheel. When peace slowly fades and anxiety rises every time she walks into the room, that is psychological dominance creeping in. That is emotional warfare disguised as concern. And if you allow it too long, you will lose your voice. And once a man loses his voice, he starts to lose his soul. Great men in history refuse to be controlled. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That is Old Stoic wisdom. That is an iron mind. That is how Stoicism wins. A controlling woman often uses three tools: guilt, fear, and shame. She'll say, "If you love me, you will do this." Don't. She'll say, "I guess I'm not important to you." Don't bite. She'll say, "Real men do what their woman says." False. Real men lead with integrity and strength, not with submission to manipulation. A woman who respects you will trust your judgment, not compete for the throne. Don't argue with a controlling woman, because the moment you start defending your leadership, you've already given up your position. Don't debate. Don't justify. Don't explain. Leaders act. Followers explain. You must live with action, not apology. That is how a man keeps his crown. The Bible calls you to lead. History calls you to lead. Your future calls you to lead. And any woman who tries to control you is trying to rewrite your God-given assignment. Don't allow that. Let's be clear. Strength is not cruelty. Leadership is not tyranny. A powerful man protects and serves, but he does not bend his soul for approval. Modern psychology confirms what Scripture declared long ago. When masculine leadership collapses, confusion floods the relationship. Studies show that passive men experience higher depression, lower energy, and diminished clarity. Why? Because men are designed to carry load, not escape from it. Old Stoic wisdom says that the burden of responsibility is what makes a man strong, what forges the iron mind, what makes Stoicism win in the battle of daily life. Don't run from responsibility, run from control. Don't surrender your instincts, sharpen them. Don't silence your voice, project it. You must become the author of your fate, the guardian of your household, the man who walks with conviction, not hesitation. So let this truth settle deep into your spirit. A controlling woman is not your partner, she is your warning sign. Don't ignore it. Don't try to fix it. Don't wait for it to get better. Respect yourself enough to step back. Because the goal is not to dominate a woman, the goal is to create harmony through strong leadership, mutual respect, and unwavering vision. If she respects your mission, she will follow it. If she tries to control it, she will destroy it. Build a life worthy of loyalty. Become the man no one can mentally enslave. Grow your iron mind. Live with Old Stoic wisdom. That is how Stoicism wins. That is how a man masters life. Number 4. A woman sent by Satan to ruin your life will be marked by pulling you away from obedience to God. There's a reason Scripture warns us about temptation coming not as a roaring beast, but as something pleasing to the eye. Evil rarely kicks down the door. It knocks gently, smiles politely, and waits for you to open it. And sometimes, that door comes in the form of a woman who slowly pulls you away from obedience to God. Be careful, because once obedience is weakened, identity follows, and when identity disappears, your life begins to unravel. Genesis 3 verse 6 shows us the blueprint. Eve took the fruit, ate it, and gave it to Adam, and he ate it too. The first man fell not through pressure, but through permission. That is the strategy. The enemy doesn't need to break your strength. He just needs to persuade you to misuse it. Don't ignore the signs. When a woman makes you question your calling, when she casually laughs at your convictions, when she tells you that your faith is too strict, that is not romance, that is spiritual manipulation. Don't trade backbone for butterflies. A woman truly sent by Satan will not tempt you with something obviously dark. She will tempt you with something almost right. She might say things like, "God just wants you to be happy," or "You're too religious. Loosen up a little," or "Why does everything have to be about God?" Stop and look. Is she supporting your growth or distracting it? Is she pushing you forward or pulling you sideways? That is the test every man should take, especially if he calls himself a high value man who wants to attract women that respect him. Happiness is good, but holiness is better. Don't confuse pleasure with peace. You must have masculine energy that is rooted in discipline, not just physical attraction. The enemy does not fear strong muscles, only strong morals. Being bold enough to stand firm in your faith is what makes you truly powerful, and that is exactly why the wrong woman will try to make you feel ashamed of it. She'll use subtle psychology tricks, not always out of cruelty, sometimes out of her own brokenness. But the result is the same. You drift further and further away from God until faith feels awkward and compromise feels normal. That's how empires fall. That is how weak men are made. And that is how the enemy steals destinies. So be careful when she slowly gets you to tolerate things you once rejected, to ignore things you once noticed, to allow things you once fought against. If you feel the need to hide your prayer life around her, question what that means. If you stop reading scripture because it might ruin the mood, ask yourself what mood you're really in. A high value man does not shrink to keep a woman comfortable. A man with true masculine energy does not surrender his leadership to avoid conflict. You must never sacrifice faith just to keep her attention, because attention without respect is just manipulation, and respect without obedience is imitation. Let this be clear. You cannot blame a woman for your choices. You are responsible for your actions as a man. But you must also recognize influence. The wrong influence can drain your strength before you even notice it leaving. That's why obedience is your compass. When you're close to God, confusion disappears. When you drift from God, confusion becomes normal. Don't settle for confusion. Don't flirt with temptation and call it love. If you want to attract women worth keeping, focus less on chasing them and more on becoming a high-value man who stands firm. Masculine energy is not noise, it is order. It is direction. It is quiet clarity in a noisy world. Be the type of man who can't be seduced away from purpose. Be the type of man who would rather walk alone with God than follow the crowd without him. If she pulls you toward your calling, cherish her. If she pulls you away from it, distance yourself. That is wisdom. That is protection. That is maturity. Never forget, the enemy does not always appear with fangs and fire. Sometimes he appears holding your hand. Don't just ask, is she beautiful? Ask, does she make me better? Don't just ask, does she make me happy? Ask, does she make me holy? As men, our greatest battles are often fought in silence, in the quiet spaces between desire and decision. So decide wisely. Stand tall. Hold the line. Obey God even when it costs comfort. Real strength is not found in how many women you can pursue, but in how many temptations you can refuse. That is the heart of a high-value man. That is the essence of masculine energy. And that is how you win a war you cannot see, by refusing to bow to anything that tries to replace God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Entertain him, and he will stay for dinner. Choose wisely, because your future sits at the table. If this opened your eyes, don't just scroll away. Share it with a brother who needs this, and subscribe for more real talk and biblical wisdom. Your life is too valuable to be played with. Your purpose is too important to be distracted. Now comment to remember, I choose obedience over temptation. Let that be your affirmation. Say it, type it, own it. Because when obedience is strong, deception has no power. Number 5, she will isolate you from your purpose and your brothers. A woman sent to ruin your life will rarely declare war on your purpose. It won't be that obvious. She won't stand in front of your goals like a brick wall. Instead, she'll become a soft blanket over your fire, smothering it so slowly you'll think the warmth is love while the flame quietly dies underneath. That is the danger of subtle manipulation. It never looks like manipulation. It feels like comfort. It sounds like, I just want more time with you, but what it truly does is steal time away from your purpose. You must pay attention. The wrong woman won't say, quit your dreams. But she will say, spend tonight with me instead of with them. She will never attack your mentors directly, but she might sigh when you say you're going to meet them. She may never forbid your growth, but she will make you feel guilty for pursuing it. Don't ignore this pattern. A high value man protects his schedule, not because he is rigid, but because he understands purpose demands respect. Be careful when the peace you feel comes at the price of your passion. Be very careful when your masculine energy goes quiet, not because you've mastered peace, but because you've fallen asleep. The enemy knows that a distracted man is just as defeated as a broken one, except he won't even realize he is lost. You must see it clearly. Isolation is not always forced. Sometimes it's conveniently offered. A seductive trap wrapped in tender words, long cuddles, and slow disconnection from everything that once made you strong. That is not romance, that is strategy. Don't let your heartbeat slow until your dreams stop breathing. You must stay connected to your brothers, men who challenge you, sharpen you, call you out when your standards slip. You must stay grounded in something higher than temporary affection and fading comfort. If you slowly stop praying, stop training, stop striving, stop learning, start worrying. The fall of a man seldom begins with a loud crush. It often begins with a woman saying softly, "Don't worry about that stuff today. You can do it tomorrow." But tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year, and then one morning you look in the mirror and don't recognize the man staring back. That is what happens when masculine energy falls asleep. It doesn't vanish, it withers. Fight for it. Feed it. The world does not need another soft, silent man who once had potential. The world needs high-value men, focused, resilient, spiritually awake. Men who attract women not by chasing them, but by chasing a mission worth following. If she respects that, she is valuable. But if she subtly competes with your purpose, understand this. You may not be dating a partner, you may be negotiating with sabotage. Don't trade brotherhood for blindness. Don't trade vision for validation. Don't give up your Sunday morning because she wants Saturday night to last forever. Purpose requires discipline. Purpose requires clarity. Purpose won't beg you to return. It will quietly wait for you. But every day you ignore it, it grows farther out of reach. You must guard your focus like a warrior guards his weapon. If you drop it long enough, someone else will pick it up and finish the mission you abandoned. A woman who weakens you won't always yell. Sometimes she whispers. She'll say, "You're different now," when really she means, "You're getting stronger than I can control." She'll say, "You don't need your brothers anymore," because your brothers see through her and remind you of who you are supposed to be. Be wise. Flattery can be a disguise. Excessive comfort can be camouflage. A woman who truly values you will never ask you to shrink just so she feels secure. A woman who truly honors your path will never fear the fire of your masculine energy. She will fan it. She will stand beside you, not in front of you. She will challenge you, not chain you. She will celebrate your growth, not feel threatened by it. That is the type of woman a high-value man needs. That is the type of woman who magnetically attracts women of quality and character. But the other kind, the dangerous kind, will charm you into isolation. She will make you forget your potential in exchange for her attention. She will feed you dopamine while starving your discipline. And when the time comes for accountability, she will say, "You changed," even though she knows you simply woke back up. Don't let her confuse awakening with arrogance. Don't abandon everything you worked for to keep temporary peace. A kingdom cannot be led by a man who fears disappointment. Your life cannot be built on pleasing one person who fears your growth. Your purpose must be bigger than her approval. Your mission must outshine her mood. Godly men don't need permission to pursue their calling. They need courage. When you feel yourself drifting, call your brothers. When you feel yourself slipping, return to your mentors. When your fire gets low, reconnect with the source that lit it in the first place. Be disciplined. Be focused. Be decisive. Because the enemy doesn't destroy men only through weakness. He destroys them through distraction. Isolation is not always a prison. It can be a comfortable couch with slow poison in the air. But when you stand alone long enough, your confidence decays, your dreams dry up, and your voice loses its power. That is why you must stay connected. Your purpose needs witnesses. Your masculine energy needs challenge. Your mind needs iron to sharpen it. And brotherhood, real brotherhood, forces you to face truth when comfort tries to lull you back to sleep. A high-value man knows this. Love is not the sacrifice of ambition, it is fuel for it. The right woman magnifies your strength. The wrong woman quietly rewires your priorities until you forget who you are. Don't let your destiny be rearranged through emotional negotiation. Don't abandon your calling for a relationship that fears your evolution. Be the man who leads. Be the man who stands. Be the man who rises when others fall asleep. Because when a man walks with purpose, masculine energy radiates naturally, and that is what truly attracts women of quality. Not neediness, not softness, not avoidance of conflict, but clarity, direction, strength. That is your edge. That is your guard. And that is what keeps your life from being slowly stolen under the disguise of love. Stay sharp. Stay connected. You must never forget your purpose is not a side quest. It is your backbone. Without it, even a strong man becomes weak. But with it, even a bruised man becomes unstoppable. Number 6. She will use emotion to control your decisions. She will use emotion the way a chess master uses his queen, not just to attack, but to corner you without you even realizing you're trapped. A woman sent by Satan won't shout commands at you. She'll influence you with what feels like love. She'll use psychology tricks as silent weapons: guilt, emotional withdrawal, quiet disappointment, cold silence that lingers like fog. It won't look like control. It'll look like you're just not trying hard enough. Female psychology is subtle like that. She won't need chains or shouting. She'll use your need to be valued against you. She'll convince you that being a good man means doing whatever makes her happy, even when your spirit knows it's wrong. That is not love. That is emotional ransom. And you must recognize it before it reshapes your identity. The most dangerous manipulation isn't loud, it's soft. It doesn't attack your decisions directly, it attacks your confidence in making them. That is how a man begins to lose his spine without ever noticing it's missing. She'll say things like, "I just want to feel secure, you changed," or "if you loved me, you'd try harder." That's not affection, that's leverage. Those are psychology tricks disguised as intimacy, designed to make you second guess your instincts. Remember this: female psychology is not evil, but in the wrong hands, it can be weaponized. The problem isn't women. The problem is manipulation masquerading as emotion. Some men ask how to fall in love, but few ask how to stay strong once they do. Wisdom demands both questions. You must understand, guilt is a leash when it's used to shape your behavior instead of your character. Silent treatment isn't always about space, sometimes it's about power. Emotional withdrawal isn't always about healing, sometimes it's about reshaping your loyalty. And when a man believes that love means avoiding conflict at all costs, he stops being a leader and starts being a hostage. Don't surrender your decisions to someone who only smiles when you obey. Don't trade your voice just to avoid her silence. Fear of emotional disconnection is the easiest way to control a man. It's one of the oldest psychology tricks in human history. Every salesman, cult leader, and toxic partner knows it. Make someone fear disapproval, and you'll never need force. Masculine energy must stand firm even when emotions rise, because emotions are not always truth. They are weather, they move, they shift, they change shape. If you build your choices on weather, you will live in a storm forever. That is why a high-value man leads with principle, not with panic. Leadership isn't about controlling someone. It's about refusing to be controlled by unstable feelings. That includes your own. Understanding female psychology does not mean resenting women. It means realizing that manipulation is possible, attachment is powerful, and control often hides behind tears. Real love uplifts. It does not drain. Real love supports. It does not corner. Real love reveals your best. It does not erase it. A wise man once said, "If peace only exists when one side stays silent, then it's not peace. It's pressure." If every disagreement ends with you apologizing just to restore her mood, you are not pursuing peace, you are performing obedience. If every decision requires her emotional approval, you are not leading, you are negotiating for permission to exist. And if you constantly ask how to fall in love, but never ask how to maintain integrity while loving, then you are building romance on sand, not stone. Be careful with this. When peace always comes at the price of your obedience to God, it is not peace. It is spiritual pressure. Some men lose their souls not through rebellion, but through slow compromise that feels polite. Don't bow to emotions when you know the truth. Don't shrink just to make someone else feel taller. Don't be a peacemaker who trades purpose for comfort. You must learn this. A man can lose his strength even while smiling if he spends his life apologizing for having it. The key to understanding female psychology is not to fear emotion, but to recognize how emotion shapes decision making. The wrong woman will say things like, I just want to feel safe, but what she means is, I want you to move how I want. The right woman will say, I believe in your direction, lead the way. A high value man doesn't ask how to fall in love as much as he asks, how do I attract someone who respects the mission God gave me? Because if she fears your purpose, then she fears your growth. And if she fears your growth, she will eventually try to control it. That is the psychology no one talks about. So be alert. Be brave. Guard your decisions like treasure. Don't let silence bully you. Don't let guilt steer you. Don't let "don't make me unhappy" be the reason you abandoned what made you strong. You must lead with truth. You must love with clarity. You must stand even when emotions shake the room. Because when manipulation leaves, identity returns. And when fear fades, vision rises. That is when you finally understand not just how to fall in love, but how to stay whole while doing it. Number 7. She will distract you with pleasure so you forget discipline. A man with an iron mind must remember this. In every age, in every culture, distractions have worn many faces, but the danger remains the same. As Marcus Aurelius warned, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In modern life, temptation doesn't always look like a threat. It can look like excitement, beauty, pleasure, convenience. That is why you must stay sharp. A woman sent by chaos, not literally Satan, but by the forces that pull men off their path, will be marked by one thing. She pulls you away from your purpose. Not always violently. Not always obviously. Sometimes with a smile. Sometimes with attention. Sometimes with sweet words that make you forget who you were born to be. First, she distracts you. Then she comforts you. Then she makes you question your purpose. She will not steal your strength. She will simply convince you to put it down. Don't let that happen. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that a man must face every test with discipline. And today, discipline is the rarest currency on earth. The world is full of pleasures engineered to keep you weak, dependent, comfortable. When a woman, any person, any influence, makes you abandon your mission, she is not helping you live. She is helping you decay. Don't be fooled by this era of instant satisfaction. Don't bargain with your future for a moment of comfort. Stoicism win is not loud, it is not flashy, it is steady. It is the quiet decision to stay focused when everyone else drifts. The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself, said Plato, and that has never been more relevant than right now. A woman marked by destructive intent will subtly make you question your resolve. She won't attack your discipline, she'll replace it. She will give you entertainment instead of effort, comfort instead of challenge, desire instead of direction. And the moment pleasure becomes your master, purpose becomes your prisoner. A strong man does not run from pleasure, but he never bows to it. You must be the one in control. You must sit on the throne of your own instincts. That is what being a man truly means. Learn to say no. Learn to walk away. Learn to delay gratification. This is not weakness, it is power. It is an iron mind control. In modern life, temptation comes with notifications, soft smiles, streaming platforms, dating apps, empty compliments, free dopamine. Make no mistake, every time you drift into these traps, someone profits from your weakness. If she keeps you up all night texting, but never helps you build a better day, she is draining you. If she makes you forget your goals, but never forgets her own, she is using you. Don't blame her. Just recognize the game. As the old warrior said, a man must be willing to bleed for the life he wants. That principle applies to relationships too. You don't need someone who takes you off your path. You need someone who sharpens it. Someone who fuels your fire, not your distractions. Look at society. Men are numbing themselves with instant pleasure because they don't have a mission bigger than their appetite. That is the silent war of our generation. Comfort is killing ambition. Attention is killing focus. Weak temptation is killing strong men. The enemy doesn't walk toward you with a sword. He walks toward you with entertainment. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." If your why is clear, you will see through every trap. If your why is lost, anyone can pull your strings. Old Stoic wisdom demands that a man lead himself before he leads anyone else. That is the law. That is the discipline. That is the victory. You must rewire your thinking. Don't seek pleasure, seek purpose. Don't chase attention, chase achievement. Don't escape your problems, solve them. Say to yourself every morning, Stoicism wins. Iron mind. I master my day before the world touches it. And when someone tries to make you drift, you simply say, my future is not for sale. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just act. That is strength. That is clarity. That is your path forward. If she truly values you, she will help you rise. If not, she will sabotage your direction with subtle smiles and soft words. Stay alert. You are not here to be entertained. You are here to conquer. Your work is your fortress. Your discipline is your shield. Your actions are your legacy. And your destiny, your high calling, will only reveal itself to a man strong enough to resist temporary pleasure. So let's return to old Stoic wisdom. Let's build an iron mind. Let's walk with discipline. Because when discipline dies, destiny dies, and we do not allow destiny to die. Stand firm. Stay focused. Win the unseen battles. And remember, a king is not the man with the most luxury, but the man with nothing he cannot walk away from. If this video helped you open your eyes or understand things more clearly, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really supports the channel and helps me make more content like this. Also, I'd love to hear from you. If you have feedback, questions, or a personal story related to this topic, feel free to drop it in the comments section. Your voice matters here. Remember, understanding psychology isn't just knowledge, it's power. Until the next video, stay aware, stay sharp, and never let anyone dim your light, because you are worth more than you think.